inspiration, it feeds off really easily to other people. So, we have more artists creating, and that's just going to spur more artists, and the quality is really good right now. But like I said, we need to collaborate more. I feel like that's one of the main things. Like, a lot of people are posting about it, and we try to like reshare those stories and post as much as possible, but pretty much like if we focus on working together and like helping each other fill in the gaps that we have, then everyone's going to rise faster. Like, everyone's missing things, or everyone has strengths and weaknesses. It's just human. So when you have different teams or different camps of artists, there's no point in not mixing those two and like collaborating if it's for the greater good.
ALFA Relations, driving change forward.
Manuel, would you care to join me? Oh, seem to be muted. Oh, now you're not.
I am not muted. I'm here.
All right. Okay. Would you care to join us in a little voice exercise like we used to do back in high school? The music show.
No, I'm good.
No?
I think
Maybe in the gam this run?
it's a bit late for that. No.
What? It's never too late. I'll wait patiently for you. If you wait for
Lead us. Okay, let's go.
All right. I'm waiting for you.
What's going on?
I'm waiting for something to happen.
What?
Oh no.
Oh God.
We're missing Sylvie. We need Sylvie.
Oh, Sylvie! Shout out to Sylvie.
Shout out the real face people.
Those jean dresses of hers. I'll never forget that.
Red spikes, red spiky hair.
Oh, she was quite something. All right. Context for Luca and Alex. The beginning of every music chant class is a singing class. All right. We would have to do our warm ups. To get your vocal cords nice and warm, moist, or.
Oh God.
Anyway, long story short, right? Sylvie was one of our teachers, and she was quite colorful. Literally, she had red hair. And spiky. What a punk, right? Damn. And jean dresses. She's wild.
And her son was a rapper.
Really?
Yeah. One day, like we were having a chill class, and she wanted to show the whole 100 student class her son's rap. But it was actually surprisingly good, and everyone was like, "Damn, we didn't expect this from our teacher with the red spiky hair, super Quebecois lady." Like, we're like, "What the hell?" But yeah,
God damn,
surprised us.
It says, yeah.
Very interesting.
I think so. All right, let's bring it back to the intro.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everyone, to the next episode of ALFA Relations. We were joined today by a very, 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 very special guest, a longtime friend. There he is. He just, I want to chuckle. I want to hug him. I could kiss him virtually, but I mean, it's just not the same. Don't worry. Your girlfriend will understand. Long story short, I present to you Manny Matthews. Ladies and gents, gals.
Hey,
Let's go.
Woo!
What's good, guys?
What's
Hello.
good? All's good. Luca, the man said, "What's good?"
Don't press him. He's good.
All is good.
All right. So, just for a little context for the peeps out there, Emmanuel, Manny here, and I, we go way back. We go 17 years back. A long time. Yeah, like it's gonna be our 20th anniversary is coming up in a few years, man. It's true.
17 to 20.
Exactly. That's how I see it. You might as well round up.
Day ones. That's what you call a day one.
That's right. We're lifers for friendship here. And I think, if I recall, we met in grade 2. At a lovely artistic school in downtown Montreal called Face School, like called Face. You know what's up if you've been there and what the whole deal is. And I've known him ever since, and we have a lovely bunch of friends, who you are out there, and he's a great person. He's doing some fantastic things, but we're going to explore into that, and he's going to tell us what is up. All right, so my good sir. So what we like to do at the beginning of every episode.
Yes, sir.
You have the next couple minutes. I'm going to ask you a few questions. You tell us who you are. Tell us however you want. You can give us some alternative facts. You can give my dirty stories as well. I prefer that you didn't.
Oh God.
I'll save that for the after hours podcast.
Oh, okay. Stay tuned. Now we actually have to get a plan going here.
Oh, gosh. Let's do it, though. Let's do it.
Oh boy. Oh boy. All right, man. So where are you coming from? Who is Manny Matthews?
Damn, that's a big question.
It is.
I mean, yeah, so I'm from Montreal, born and raised in LaSalle.
Hey.
Hey.
Yep.
That's my crib.
Texas. Oh yeah, okay. So the ones know it's not the most famous borough in the city, I'd say, but we got some real ones. So
That's
from
fair.
from LaSalle, but I went to school like you said in the intro at Face. So that's like downtown, right on University, like near McGill. And it was a unique experience. I feel like from like first grade to 11th, pretty much I did like all my school there. It's really focused on art, but in a really broad way. Like you do, painting and like visual arts, but you're doing theater. The next day you do singing and instrumentation. Like you kind of cover everything. So it gave all of us a really, I guess, a good look at a lot of the disciplines in art. And it allowed you to kind of see what fit best with you. Because it's like, I played an instrument and sang a lot, but I didn't really choose to pursue that. But it showed me what I did really enjoy within it. And I feel like it helped to carve the path that I'm on now pretty much. So, yeah.
And just to go back, what instrument did you play, my good sir?
French horn. It's like a brass instrument in the trumpet family, pretty much.
And
I still play it, actually. I have one, but, I kind of fell out.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, I got gifted one actually for my graduation, so I was
no kidding. Oh, that's big, man.
My sister, yeah.
Look who plays the French horn.
What?
What?
No, I don't.
No, it's actually not. It's not the most popular instrument. Like it's in a band or orchestra, you'll have like just a couple.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's kind of. I see it always in movies and shows and stuff. People like to play jokes about French horn players, but it's a tough instrument, so it taught me a lot still.
What do they say about French horn players?
I don't know. Like they always diss them in shows and stuff. I don't really get why, but I guess it's seen as like a very, like band, very musical instrument. It's not like your typical common like trumpet or something. So
basically, like you're like the heart and soul of being a band geek.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. I take that though. I take that with pride because
likewise. Yeah.
You too.
We get that. Yes, sir. That being said, so we explained, the relation here to Alpha, and you just said it, like you graduated. So what did you graduate from? And it was recent, no?
Yeah, well, like I said, I did 1st to 11th grade at Face.
Mm-hmm.
Then I did Dawson. I did 2 years in just like general social science because I knew I didn't want to go into math and science and stuff, but I didn't really want to pursue music in Cégep because
we wanted to party.
Yeah, just enjoy the transition, I guess, to university and just kind of study different things. Like I'm really interested in like, religion and geography and different like things, history also. So I could just take a lot of different courses and it allowed me to like study different things, which is what I wanted. So it was pretty good. It was pretty blessed.
Nice. And that based off of that, Cégep is 2 years. I think you did the 2-year experience with no more time than that. What did that lead to following up? Did you pursue university studies?
Yeah, basically after Cégep, I was a little bit, I don't want to say lost, but I guess confused as to like what I really wanted to do. But I was just studying different programs at Concordia because I knew that I wanted to stay in the city still. I didn't want to leave Montreal, and journalism was actually the program that I decided to go into just because it took some time, really. Like I didn't know right away, but writing was always something I gravitated towards in like high school and Cégep. Like I just knew that I liked to write and I always did pretty well with it, but I liked being creative, but in music, not so much in writing. So I didn't want to go into fiction. So nonfiction is like, reality. That's what I like to read. That's what I like to write about. And journalism was just what, that's the thing that seemed like I was most interested in. So yeah, I did my undergrad in that with a minor in poli-sci. because I was always interested in political science really a lot too. And yeah, I graduated and I've been working full time now as a copywriter. So I just went into like marketing writing after school, just because I didn't want to go into the field of journalism. Like I didn't want to be a journalist as I thought I did. So now I'm in marketing, which is more my vibe with like music too and stuff. It connects better.
That's
Very
really
nice.
cool.
Yeah. And this is coming, from experience from what you've told me. But what, in this case, yes, you gravitate towards music. But what did you, starting off with your major there in journalism, what did you start to gravitate towards? Was it more, I mean, you talk about realism in the sense of, political sciences, you're interested in geography. So I imagine like world events that are happening at the same time, or is it something more on the local scene, or with culture? Like, so.
Yeah, that's a good question for sure. I say like when I did my minor in poli sci because I was always interested in the world and like traveling and different cultures. Like that was my main thing. So I felt like, I could be a journalist and go to different countries like Vice and go to report on different events around the world. That's what I kind of originally wanted to do. But after about, I'd say my first year in journalism, I kind of learned that like I wanted to pursue music more than I thought I did. Because, I grew up with music, like I said, grade 1 to 11. I played music, sang in choirs like almost every day, every second day. And then I realized that after a year of school, I missed that. Like I really, I wanted that to be in my life. And that's when I kind of gravitated more towards music journalism. So I started writing for the Concordian, like one of the newspapers at Concordia.
No way.
Yeah. I started as a staff writer, then I became the assistant music editor, and then eventually I was the music editor, so like the head of the music section.
Wow.
And that was pretty much what proved to me that like I needed to pursue music. Yeah, pretty much. I started working more, like you said, locally with the music scene in the city. So like, going to events, you write reviews of the events, you get tickets to shows, you interview artists and kind of just get a little deeper into the scene. And as I did that, I realized that like being a part of the music scene, whether it was like as a marketing person or as a writer for artists or as like an A&R, which I work as now, pretty much like consulting for artists and producers and creatives. I learned that I wanted to be a part of that scene. Like that was just more my vibe, and that's what made me the most happy and makes me the most happy. So it felt like right,
That's actually really interesting. That's what I wanted to ask you about. So you already spoke about a little bit about how you got into music and what led you to music with schooling and stuff. But what's really like your drive and your wanting to get more into producing music? Like what about that interested you?
Yeah, so I guess because throughout Cégep, I had started producing, like actually making beats and like, instrumentals. I started doing that in Cégep because I had stopped music. Like I wasn't singing. I was singing in a choir after school, but I didn't do it for too long because it was hard to maintain with school. And then, yeah, I had missed music a lot. So I realized that, I could download GarageBand and then Logic Pro X, and you could just make music literally virtually. So I started doing that a lot. And, I was getting okay. Like I was learning because I had the musical knowledge and I could apply it. But it really does take a long time to like learn the softwares that you use. And yeah, it was kind of something I just did as a hobby, making beats, on the weekends sometimes when I was bored and stuff. But then recently, I started getting more into like managing and doing A&R work and marketing work. So not so much actually making the music, because I realized I knew a lot of talented people who had been doing it for like 10 times as long as me. And I know music really well, but I don't always need to make it. I could help others make it, or I could help deliver music that I think is good to, you know, the public or to other creatives that help make more music. So like I could be a part of the process without being the rapper or singer or the producer. Like there needs to be a whole team, and I feel like the skills I have in school can combine with like my background and fit like with the team really well. And it does, because I work with a bunch of people, so it's it's going really well.
That's really awesome.
And looking at within like the Montreal music scene, what do you look for like in particular? Like what is like your aim within like genres that you like to work with?
Yeah, like Montreal's cool because I feel like right now, obviously, I'm really experiencing it, so I can't speak on the past like generations, but I feel like the music scene in Montreal right now is like at the highest level it's ever been because Toronto's been the big scene in Canada for the last pretty much few decades. And Montreal, we have our music. We have like Quebec music, like French music's actually pretty big and stuff like that. But for the English scene of like, contemporary music in Montreal, whether it's like hip hop, R&B, neo soul, anything like that, it's right now is like crazy. Like not just during COVID, honestly, even before COVID, I would say like the last couple of years, just the creatives and artists in Montreal have been, it seems like, popping up much more than they were before. So it's adding to the creativity in the scene and like the amount of people making it, and then the quality too. It's like a really high quality right now, and I feel like it's a great time to be working with other artists. And that's why I feel like what I do is so perfect, because I work with artists and producers to try to like not just get them better, but like help them progress in their career. And that's like right now there's so many opportunities because everyone's trying to work. And then for sure with COVID, it gave even more people a chance to be creative and have time to work on hobbies that can turn into real careers actually. So
Do you have like a favorite genre to work within?
yeah, definitely like hip-hop R&B, I would say.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, especially in Montreal right now. Like I said, Toronto is huge. We have The Weeknd, Drake, Tory Lanez, all these huge Toronto artists. Even Justin Bieber from Ontario. But Montreal now, I don't know if it's because we've been inspired so much by Toronto, or I guess more people are diving in and seeing what could come from it. So it's just inspiring other people who have those same like passions to get into it. And there's just so many artists. Like it's a great time right now, and the collabing is increasing too, which I think is we need.
What are some of the artists that you've been working with, like within Montreal? Do you have any you want to just shout out and talk about?
Yeah, definitely. I would say, well, I manage a producer called Tybe. Alan actually knows him, Ethan Bearer, that's his real name, and we went to school together at Face. He was in a different grade, but we met there and we sort of became acquaintances, and then I've been following. He's been making beats for a long time, so I currently manage him. Yeah, and that's just pretty much working, trying to get him opportunities, and because producers and artists, they want to work on music, but they don't really want to have to worry about like networking and sending it to artists and managers and talking. They don't want to have to really deal with that when everyone has a life, they have different things to worry about. So the art is one of the main ones, but that takes up a lot of time. So yeah, I manage him right now. And then other than that, I'm doing just pretty much marketing like / PR work for a couple of different artists. So it's like, working consistently with them, trying to get opportunities and get their stuff out there. So for that, it's mainly like Kahim Isaaca and Yif. He's a producer for a group called Revo. It's coming out of like LaSalle, Lachine. I'm working a lot with them, and they're creating like a lot of good stuff, but it's slowly coming out because the thing is you have to roll out everything strategically. You can't just start dropping tracks like every week and expect a real, consistent growth. So yeah, those guys. Work with 7LC a lot too with marketing, PR. His whole camp. Carr is his manager. He has really talented like in-house studio, basically a crazy space in the Old Port. So
Nice.
you could check out Le Studio LC Records on IG. Also working with Pape too, doing marketing, PR, Sean JL, and yeah, the list goes on. It's everyone's working, so it's not like I'm consistently just with only one camp or one artist, but it's kind of bouncing around and trying to help everyone progress and be consistently working while I do my copywriting, during the week. So
That's awesome. We could definitely link them at in our description and all that stuff, so people could check them out. Of course.
Okay, that would be blessed for sure.
What a hustle you're on, man.
Yeah.
What a hustle,
It's fast,
It is. You're almost 24 years of age, university degree, you're working 40 hours a week, and how how many hours do you put towards music management and PR and all that?
That's a good question. Honestly, it depends on the week. That's why you work with different people, because everyone's working at a different pace, and it's not really like, even if the music is each artist's or producer's main thing, it's like everyone has a certain things that they have to balance in life. So each week changes. Sometimes there's a lot of work, there's crazy emails, we have to write a lot of different write-ups, bios, we're making press kits, different strategic rollouts, planning schedules. But some weeks it's more like everyone's working on their own thing, so you're kind of you're at your own base and you're working on your stuff. You're creating maybe, but the actual you try to stay connected consistently to stay up to date with everyone. But yeah, the hours for music stuff, it's probably like, I would say like 10 to 15 a week probably.
But still, that on top of what you're already doing, it's a grind, man.
Yeah, it helped. Well, COVID helps. There's not much
true.
I think that was actually it's kind of crazy. Like, that was one of the main things that pushed me into being a bit more consistent with like trying to work in the music scene, was when COVID hit. Like, there was just more time to think about your passions, or at least for me, what I really enjoy doing and what I want to see what I see myself doing for the rest of my life and being happy doing it. And yeah, that's what pretty much pushed me into this work. And I feel like it's only been growing since I started. So why not just continue?
Yeah.
How has been like your experience within like managing and your journey so far in the music scene?
Yeah, well, managing is definitely the most recent thing I've really ventured into, because like I said, during university and after, I was really, I'm a writer by trade. Like, I went to school for journalism, so music journalism, that's like interviewing, that's writing, editing. So when I first started working with artists, it was really as like a writer. I would work with this talented creative in Montreal called Ollie. Everyone in the music scene pretty much knows him, Ollie Evergreen. But yeah, he's like, he does a lot of video directing and producing. And yeah, he's just like a talented hands-on guy, pretty much doing everything. So I kind of first, he went to Face also, by the way. Alan knows him too.
Okay.
Ollie,
Yeah, but I do. The name sounded familiar.
Yeah. He's been involved in he's just been involved in the creative stuff in Montreal for a long time now. Okay. But I connected with him basically because he needed a writer to do press kits for artists. So like, they would have photography, photo shoots. He's a graphic designer too, and he can work in that field and stuff. But he needed someone to actually do the writing and get the writing done and interview the artists for bios. So I really started with that, and then my name just kind of got around more because people needed writers, consistently. And that kind of turned into doing a little bit more, because I guess a lot of people didn't really know the musical background I had at first. But over time, you're like going to a studio to interview an artist, and then you just start talking about music and listening to tracks. And then you realize that, like, I guess I realized I had like a lot to offer in that way. But the writing was sort of an in to like that whole life of like connecting with people that I didn't know before. Yeah, and that pretty much led to, like I said, doing more marketing and PR work. So being a little bit more hands-on with like the artist in like the camp that they were working with. And that, yeah, I mean, that comes with A&R work too, which is like basically helping, like I said, the creative process, but that's like in the studio with the actual music and connecting artists with producers and stuff like that. So it's sort of helping to support the art being made, but you're not actually the artist. You're like the ears, like an extension of the ears for the artists and stuff like that. Yeah, so I was doing all that for a while now, but managing is the most recent thing I got into because, Tybe needed help with pretty much that domain with his work. And yeah, since then we're kind of just been working and trying to get more stuff done, and there's been a lot of opportunities coming, so we're just kind of staying consistent with it and continuing to put good work in, because in the end, the music speaks for itself, so you just kind of trust the quality of it, and it's a passion, so you never really want to stop.
No, that's very true. Just regarding management, I think that's so interesting how that you've just gotten into that, especially given where you're coming from and how everything's starting to unfold for you. What has been of course, all of this being recent for you, if you could just like polarize for us one instance that you are very fond of regarding management, music management, and one thing that you find just rather challenging that you're still trying to wrap your head around.
I guess, yeah, as a manager, you feel like your main role is really to support and like help. It's almost like you have to help inspire, because it's hard to be a creative, you know? If you've ever made music or done music, it's like, you know that it's something that can't be forced, but it's kind of hard to be one person creating a lot and then doing everything else that needs to be done when it comes to, you know, getting that music somewhere. So I feel like being a part of that process, it's a beautiful thing, because you don't, like I said, you're not the producer, you're not the artist, but you understand everything they do, and you kind of just support that mission and sort of help it grow. So that's pretty much the best part about it, that I think is like, it's really motivating, and it's a really positive part of it.
Nice. And
And you said a
anything
negative side to it?
on a negative side, something challenging, something you'd be like, well, fuck, I hate this. Yeah.
Mm,
Kidding. It
no,
doesn't have
honestly,
to get to that extent.
yeah. No, it's all good, but I wouldn't say for managing specifically, but I guess just working in music, because it's a little bit easier to think about that.
Mhm.
It's just the, like, I guess, inconsistency sometimes. And I don't want to say inconsistency like, not in the sense of people's work ethic, because I feel like, you know, if you surround yourself with motivated people, everyone's going to be hustling all the time.
Mm,
But more in the sense of like, you could work for like 20 hours on linking up with someone and making music and getting demos done, and then nothing ever happens with that, because it's just over time. Like, someone could have the best song they ever made, but if there's a lot of things going on, and then, you know, time passes by and it's not the right time to release it anymore, it's gone. So it's just like, sort of, music is like an investment that doesn't always pay out.
Mhm.
And that's like the main thing I've probably learned, that, you know, you don't really think about when you're like, oh, I'm helping make music and I'm connecting this producer with this artist, and this song came out of it and it was a crazy song, I want to play it every day. But then it's like, you know, that's just the front end of it. That's like the fun part. So there's a lot
Mhm.
of business and, you know, a lot of that stuff that goes into it too, which is a little different.
nice.
Very nice. Well, actually, I wanted to talk about now a little bit, kind of what you don't see about the music industry and all of that, which is around mental health. So, what could you talk about, like about the mental health struggles that young and up and coming music artists like face, especially like with being online and all that stuff?
Yeah, that's a great question, because I feel like that's one of the main things that's plaguing like our generation in the music industry, especially with like hip hop and that genre, which is the most popular genre in music today. Pretty much, you can consider it like the pop of our generation. It's just becoming so, I don't know. It's like competitive, but in an unnatural way sometimes, because social media amplifies everything. So it's
Mhm.
like, in, let's say, I don't know, 50 years ago, everyone wanted to be the best musician and, you know, get the most sales and sell out the biggest crowd. That's been a thing for a long time. But with social media, I guess it creates like a lot of just negative energy connected to that. So instead of it being like natural competition and trying to be the best, it becomes like a, I don't know, like a ego thing, or
Mm-hmm.
just something that it shouldn't be, and then it becomes bigger than the music, and then you have issues that you don't even understand, or you're taking substances to, you know, make yourself feel better because you're not as big as you want to be, but it's like you just been making music for 3 years. It's like there's just a lot of things that affect someone's health when they're working in an industry that's really fast paced and really competitive and really subjective. It's not like you make the best music and you're going to get paid the most. It doesn't work like that. Like, I saw a quote that stuck with me on Twitter, I think it was, and it was like the music industry, and it said 80% networking, 20% talent. So it was kind of like trying to break down what mattered. And I felt like, you know, obviously I don't know if that's real. It's a very subjective
Mm-hmm.
thing, but it does ring true in the sense that it's like, it just depends on who you know a lot of the time. Quality is, you can make, like I said, you can make the best album, the best project, but if the right people don't hear it or enough people, it's just going to be that song or that project that everyone loves. But if you really want it to, mean something or get to a certain level, it's like there's a lot of pressure there for sure. So.
And the grind, I can
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah, exactly. It takes a lot of time and it doesn't pay out right away. That's the problem. Like, even if you're making great music and, you've been consistent for, let's say, a year or two, you need to get it, like, you need the right people to see it or just the right amount of people to see it for it to really get to a level that's, giving you whatever you want. If it's money or fame or whatever, but opportunities even, it's becoming kind of saturated too. Like, it's really easy to make music now, so everyone's doing it, and
YouTubers.
oh yeah, everyone.
Boy.
And it's like, it's cool because the more people that make music, the higher quality music you're gonna get. So in general, if you think, I guess, statistically, but it's like you also have to filter through a lot more like not great stuff now. So there's a pro and con side to it. But yeah, I guess it's just like, it's the rat race mentality is really toxic. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. I guess that's the main thing.
Are there any artists in particular, that you've recognized, that have been so impacted by this, whether it's on the Montreal local scene or going to the broader international stage of sorts?
You mean like COVID, basically?
No, not related to COVID at all. In this case, like, you mean...
Sorry, I lost track on that one. What was that?
Oh, good. In this case, like, I mean, any artists, like, I mean, that you just found that was clear as day, that were clearly, let's say, young, upcoming, full of talent, and just were submerged due to the pressures, especially to social media and the amount of competition, and that led to perhaps going down a rabbit hole of substance abuse, if not, potentially suicide?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Honestly, no, I wouldn't say to that level, just because, first of all, in general, Montreal is still like a rising scene in, like, especially hip hop and like contemporary R&B, stuff like that. It's I feel like we have a scene, but it's like, it's not as high of a level as, like, let's say Toronto or any big city in the US, pretty much. So it's been, I don't think the competition is as, like, cutthroat here, because the opportunities are also, like, not super, super widespread. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like what I try to highlight a lot of the time is, like, people need to work together. We could have a competition and try to be the best, for sure. That's fine. But at some point, it's like, if you limit the opportunities and the connections, you're only limiting your growth at the end of the day. Like, you're limiting, you know what I mean? Like, there's no point in not working with other talented people if, I don't know. It's like, that's something that we need to highlight, and I feel like that'll help the scene to grow, and that'll help more opportunities to come to the area, because that's how you create a hub. But until that happens, like, I feel like it's just everyone's working towards it. So I haven't noticed any, like, super like downward spiraling stories in Montreal, just because I feel like there's not that much expectations. So no one's like, no one's feels crazy let down, I don't think. But I do know, I've spoken to artists in Montreal for sure that have expectations for themselves. And that sometimes, it's hard to live up to. Like I said, music, at the end of the day, you could be making your best music ever and you're getting better and better. But it's like, you always have to be in reference to someone else, because music is, everyone's your competition. SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Music, everyone that's on there is your competition. Right. So, it does become stressful. And I know some artists have had a hard time with sort of putting that pressure on themselves, and then that may be hurting their confidence or their creativity a little bit. But at the end of the day, that's another thing that fuels me to do, like, A&R work and management and marketing. It's like, I know it's hard to create, because I've created music in different forms, like producing, French horn, singing. I've been around art and I've created it, and I know it's kind of stressful if you have demands on that. Like, it's one thing if you're doing it for fun on the weekends and after work or whatever, but when it's like your whole career and your success depends on what you create and how successful that is, that's a stressful thing. Like, it's hard to understand. So I just try to be around the artists that, you know, I think are talented or create quality stuff or have really good potential. And I just try to like keep them on as like motivated and as like, you know, excited about music as possible, because then they're going to create the best music and then we're going to make things happen. So it's like just try to spur creativity and positivity and like efficiency, like, you know, getting stuff done. Yeah, I just try to help out with that pretty much, and
Nice.
hopefully that can rise up the whole city, because I feel like right now stuff's popping and it's like it's cool, you know. It feels like we're like a part of a little movement. Like we'll look back on this when we're older and like, oh, Montreal's so famous. Like because Toronto had that in the last decade or so. Like they rose to a level that's like global.
Yeah, they blew up. Yeah.
Global, like everyone knows Toronto. You go to any country, they'll know because of Drake or Justin Bieber or The Weeknd.
Yeah.
But Montreal doesn't really have that now, so everyone's kind of motivated to create that, and I feel like it's creating more positive energy than negative, actually.
There's good momentum in the air.
A lot of momentum. Yeah. That's why we're all like motivated and working, and it's just COVID honestly really, like I said, it was positive because it got more people working and like, you know, like even me, it got me way more into the scene, but it's hurting a lot of opportunities because you can't really shoot videos the same way. You can't host any events. There's no shows. Like shows are a huge way to, you know, grow your following. So everyone's kind of hoping for that, but you know, there's no point to not work on other stuff just because we can't do that. So
no, that's it. And if anything, excuse me, I've talked about this with several before, and with you too, Manny, regarding like a rebirth of an explosion of passion once we've come out of this completely.
A renaissance,
and it's like a renaissance of sorts, like a modern day renaissance. You said it, you know. But I truly see that happening because it already is happening, right? Yeah. If anything, people are already setting themselves up for what comes next. And that is going to be a huge, I see it personally as just a big boom of just like of love, of passion, of explosion, of exploration, of all different mediums, right? And it's just like, but it's the whole thing. It's that anticipation and that wait time, right? Exactly. It's kind of like, I mean, okay, so we set it up, we're working at home, we're making the beats. Yes, we're networking. It's happening online. I can send this demo to point A, B, and C. But of course, all this, you know, getting it out to the people in person, right? The recording and just taking it to the next level. Yeah. Right. Well, it's like we're right there and we're ready to hear that gun go off and to explode. But I think that's going to happen. I honestly, you know, it is, right? Yeah, it's going to be intense.
No, definitely. I think what you're saying is really true, but I feel like we have to focus on that more, because even myself, like, you know, it's easy to get down or discouraged because you kind of have not that much to look forward to compared to like life before. But we do have to recognize, like, once things go back to normal, which they will for sure, or at least closer to normal than they are now, people are going to be so excited, and I feel like just encouraged to like do different things. So it's going to create a lot of opportunities for like everything. Like people are just going to be, like you said, like energized and inspired because they were, you know, held down for so long. It will be like an explosion. So I feel like artists need to focus on, or just creators in general need to focus on that and not let that stop them from creating things now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Time doesn't wait for anyone, so there's no point.
No, it does not. No, you know, you said it, man.
Waste it. Don't waste it.
See, Luca, that's the moment, man. That's it. It's time for you to get into your British rap scene right now.
Grime, Luca, you're a grime artist. Oh, jeez. It's all drill. Drill is popping now. He's a drill rapper now.
Oh God.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.
Oh, you're too much.
A little bit, just a little over the top. That's okay. God. Right. Everyone here is used to it. Okay.
Yeah. No kidding.
You got that right, honestly.
Yeah, it is how it is, and that's that.
All right. So, Manny, it's very clear to everybody that you have a passion for music and the art of it all. So I just really wanted to ask you, like, what does music mean to you specifically?
Well, that's good.
Oh,
man, that's like the biggest question of the year right there. I mean, for me, I've been thinking a lot about this because I guess COVID, it gives you more time to just think because you're, you know, inside all the time. But I feel like music, it just music equals life. Like that's what I always think about. Like it always in my head, it just comes back to that like phrase or statement. Because if you put on music or like a song you like, no matter what mood you're in, you're gonna become happy. It's like almost, well, at least for me, that's why I love it so much. I can't force others to, everyone has their own interests and stuff.
Right.
But music, okay, I'll put it this way: music has the power to create any energy or any emotion. So I feel like with that strength, it's like that's why I always go back to it, because nothing else could, I guess, give that feeling, or not many other things. So yeah, music is life. Like it can, bring you up, and it can make you feel things. And if there's bass, your body, you feel things inside your body. So it's not even just like a, audible thing, but it could be a physical experience too. And that's why I love like shows and festivals, concerts, because that's pretty much the only place you could get those kind of experiences. So yeah, I would just say music equals life. Like it's global. Every culture, different languages, different races, ethnicities, and citizens of different countries all listen to music in different ways. And it's like, it's just eternal. Like I feel like it's existed forever, and it's always going to exist as long as humans exist. It's I feel like it's, if you're a spiritual person, it's something that can resonate on the deepest level. And so if you think of your body as like layers, and then your inner, whatever you think, soul, or even just your heart, like music can affect that. And there's not that many things that can do that. So, it's a great thing. Like it's something I love. And for sure studying it, I think, was a great way to be exposed to that at a young age. So I feel like that's why one thing I always tell my friends and stuff, especially, having kids and all that, like some other people, to always remind them to like expose their kids to creativity. It doesn't have to be music, but just whether it's like art or just being able to express yourself, theater or languages, or even different sciences. It's just creativity is key. So I feel like music is one form of that.
So true.
Love that.
So true.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. Like for real, like music is so powerful, and it has like that ability to bring communities together and bring people together.
Yeah.
And like you're saying with the soul, it has the ability to legit feed the soul, and maybe get people to that next level, or heal someone, or just just pump someone up. It's such a powerful thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, whatever you need. It could pump you up. It can make you a little bit sad or introspective, or just it could do what you need. It's just it's like endless. It's boundaryless.
All right. So, what is your ultimate vision for the Montreal music scene, and how will you continue to impact it down the road?
I feel like that's a great question. It's a really all-encompassing question for Montreal right now, because like I said, I feel like the city's really in a period of growth, and like rapid growth, because obviously over time, if there's creatives there, things are gonna grow. But I feel like right now it's increasing at such a fast rate. Like the amount of artists that are creating music, it's easy to release music on Spotify, Apple Music, because you have all these distributions: DistroKid, TuneCore, United Masters. Anyone could sign up for an account and release music on Spotify. Like it's really cheap. So with all those, I feel like all those platforms, it allows pretty much anyone to do it. And I guess maybe that's one of the things we're seeing in the city. But also, like I said, just inspiration, it feeds off really easily to other people. So we have more artists creating, and that's just going to spur more artists and more artists, and the quality is really good right now. And yeah, I feel like it's growing, and as long as we can continue to do that. But like I said, we need to collaborate more. I feel like that's one of the main things. Like a lot of people are posting about it, and we try to like reshare those stories and post as much as possible, but pretty much like if we focus on working together and like helping each other fill in the gaps that we have, then everyone's going to rise faster. Like everyone's missing things, or everyone has strengths and weaknesses. It's just human. So when you have different teams or different camps of artists, there's no point in not mixing those two and like collaborating if it's for the greater good, because it's just going to bring more attention and more opportunities to the whole city. And I do think that's what's happening, but it could happen at a higher rate. So that's one thing I work with a lot of other creatives and different teams to sort of help encourage that and make more stuff happen, more music happen.
Mm-hmm.
That was great.
Where do you see yourself going in the music scene? Do you think managing is like your like calling right now?
I feel like honestly that's something I still like think about every day, because things change and your feelings and what you want change all the time. But I just feel like the thing that matches my criteria like perfectly is like A&R work. So it's like you call yourself an A&R. It's like artist and repertoire. That's what it stands for. And basically, like A&Rs often work like in labels, so like in a corporate kind of setting, and that's because they work with artists to like basically just help them create music and like sort of like I said before, be an extension of their ears. So it's like they need help choosing songs for an album. They're trying to structure a song and they need an opinion, like they don't really know, or they need an instrument guy to come in and like do some some horns on a track. It's like an A&R kind of facilitates the music, but really in the studio. It's not so much a manager is often like you're dealing with financials, you're dealing with contracts, you're dealing with stuff like that, a lot of business stuff. But A&R is really like, it's like combining like a PR person and like an artist. It's like you have the ears, but you're also like social, and you kind of deal with networking and sort of that aspect of things. So I feel like that's my ideal thing, like socially working with artists and creatives and producers, and then also giving opinions for this, because I feel like I have a good idea of what people enjoy listening to, because you have to be able to be really open-minded, but have a good knowledge of music where that what sounds good, right? So when you can be flexible and like learn what people like and like kind of be open to different trends and different sounds, then you can apply that to like a greater audience. And I feel like that's one thing I really like to do. So yeah, I would say A&R work, but honestly PR, A&R and management are all things that like have a lot of the skills, or they require a lot of the skills that I feel like I like to hone and like work on. So that's why I like to do those things, and I feel like it's been growing a lot. So I'm just going to continue trying to have a positive impact on the scene here and with the artists and the creatives, and see what happens, really.
Boom. Right in the sweet spot of that process, man.
Exactly. I didn't know what an A&R was. Like when I was younger, you don't really know those kind of label positions, right? Like you don't know the structure of a Def Jam Records or like Interscope. I don't know what that. I didn't know what that it was when I was younger. But like I said, the passion for music spurred like singing more, and that spurred like drumming, and that spurred like producing on the computer after school, because that's all I could do. And that with like connecting, I love connecting with people and like being around people and just being positive and being social, and yeah, combining those two things together, it's like A&R work, management, stuff like that. So that's what I've been doing, and it's been really fun. Honestly, it's been great up to now, and I hope it continues to be like that too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Really awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
It was. Goddamn. Manny Matthews right there.
Alan, I hit Alan in the feels.
You did, because it's a beautiful thing, because like I said, we almost have 20 years, you and I, right? And looking at that growth, like it's just I'm left for how to describe it with words, and I could just say that I'm proud of you. I'm happy that you came on and you're talking about what you're doing, and it's at the end of the day, it's not just for you, as you said it's about that collaboration. That is the biggest goal at the end of the day, right? And if you being here and we could help you do that, and the other way around, then that you're already on the right track. That community's on the right track.
For sure. No, for sure. I agree. And it's a really, it's encouraging. But I feel like also I just wanted to say, well, thank you, first of all. Thanks for that. I appreciate that. And it's funny, like when I talk to you guys and you kind of say, oh, I'm not surprised, like it makes sense, and you tell me stories of things we've said, it's like things kind of work out how they're supposed to a lot of the time if you follow what feels right. So I feel like that's, I just follow what feels right, and it usually doesn't lead me wrong. And I just wanted to say, yeah, what you guys are doing is amazing too. Just like shedding or shining more light on like mental health and just sort of just different things is like, it's a really great thing. And I feel like you're putting a lot of positive like energy out with each podcast. I try to listen as much as possible and share it and stuff too. It's a great thing. So I would like to just say like keep going with it too.
Thank you, my good sir.
Yes, for sure.
That's it. That's what we're doing. That's what we're
Exactly.
doing.
No, I know you're hustling with it, so it's good. Like, it's good to like, you need to have ideas, but also set goals because you actually want to get stuff done. Like that's one thing I try to apply with artists. It's like, if there's one thing school taught me, it's like you have to do things you don't like sometimes to get the final results. So it's like, you can have these ideas and you want to discuss these topics, but you guys put in the time and the research and getting guests and getting graphics done and to make it happen. And it's, it's not an easy thing. So it's a great thing.
Thank you for that. That's deeply appreciated, and we get it, from one medium to the next, it's the grind,
for sure. The human grind is like life.
Yes, sir.
It's life.
Yeah. It's the life grind,
Everyone's on
shit
their
on a t-shirt.
It's cliche, but really everyone's on their own journey, and it's like as long as you respect it and like you're not, it's really easy to coexist with people and create good things. So people have to focus on that more. Like, it's not a hard thing, and it's more enjoyable at the end of the day,
That's true.
So that's what we're doing, and I feel like that's why we're all happy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Hey. All right, dude.
51.
So 51. That's it. We're about to wrap this up. Time flies. But as you know, I forgot to tell you in advance. But
he knows what to do.
He knows what to do. Do you know what to do by the end of the episode? What we typically like to have our guests say some magic words.
We are ALFA Relations, driving change forward.
Oh, it's goddamn. Yes.
Oh.
There we go.
He did the little Alan thing.
What's that?
Hello. Every time he starts, his voice goes, hello.
I do that.
It's
or I
true.
go,
That's his intro. That's his intro.
Hey. Huh? They like it. You know who you are out there.
Oh, God. It was good, though. That was great.
That was pretty solid.
Thanks.
All right, Manny.
Thank you for coming on.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have all the artists down linked below in the description. Yes. Also follow Manny. We'll have his stuff down in the description as well. If you're from YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Turn on post notifications, never miss a post. And also hit that follow button if you're on other platforms to hear our future episodes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.